as a trans person, but also listen to other people's stories as trans identities, because I am a fairly privileged trans person. I live in the Bay Area. Like, it's, if you're not queer, you're the odd one out, you know what I mean? In some areas, at least in my community that I like to talk to. But yeah, lately I've just been experiencing so many more microaggressions and just like weird shit just because of the way I present and identify, and it's just really weird. It's really annoying. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. But I do have like a little bit of notes. A little bit. But I do just want to start with I don't regret anything. Like, even with what's going on now, like, I don't regret it, and I want to live fully as myself, because, like, why are you going to think you have the authority to tell me who I should be or who I should not be? You know what I mean? As an individual. But it's just scary right now because it's so easy for trans people to be demonized, like the community of trans people to be demonized and like seen as evil and perceived as like these disgusting existence. Like, just because no one knows trans people, like your normal average US Joe does not know a trans person, or if they do know a trans person, they don't know that they're trans. So it's just like, it's hard to personalize with it, and that's what me and my partner were talking about today. Like, it's hard to like kind of be able to be like, oh, I know a trans person. Like, that's not what it's like, because it's, a lot of people don't know trans people because it's such a small portion of people in the world. So it's just so insane that we're being demonized for literally just our existence. Like, the other day, I go to UC Berkeley, and I was using the bathroom, and I decided to use the men's bathroom because I'm, like, I was like, okay, like, if I'm going to use the men's bathroom, I'm going to use it at school because I feel safest. I walk into the men's bathroom, I shit you not, a man is in there staring me down as I walk to this stall. And I just feel so uncomfortable, and then I piss, and he's still there, and he's staring at me, and it's just fucking weird, and then he finally leaves. But it's just like shit like that makes me feel so uncomfortable, and it makes me feel like I can't exist as a person. But I think that it's just like, I'm just gonna be rambling, but I just think it's really important not to lose your joy and hope, because like, at the end of the day, that is your resistance, you know? Like, speaking on it, that is resistance. Like, never put yourself in like an unsafe situation. But like, I just, being happy is a resistance because they don't want you to be happy. They literally don't want you to be happy. The government does not want you to be happy for being trans. And it's just scary. It's just scary. And like, the one thing that I did study, and I've actually wrote a paper on, is like the propaganda and controlling images around being trans. Because gender, gender is a social construct. It's a social construct. Okay? Okay. It's a social construct. Like, literally, if you Google it, it says that gender is a social construct. Okay? And like, being trans, they make it seem like it's unnatural. Unnatural. You know what I mean? And that's the point of controlling images. Controlling images are basically stereotypes that are meant to keep you down, are meant to keep control of you. So by saying that trans people are just a joke, by saying trans people are just like unnatural, by saying you're not supposed to be trans and seriously, and even in media representations, not taking being trans seriously, it actually creates people not taking trans people seriously. Like, that's the whole point of media representation and controlling images, especially surrounding like minority groups like trans people. And like, I just, it's just so hurtful because people actually believe these things, you know? Like, they believe that if you take testosterone, you're immediately more aggressive, which is crazy because that should be like demonizing men. Like, if that is true, you know what I mean? Like, you are saying, like, I don't know, that men are just naturally aggressive. And it's just kind of like, that's not how, it's because of society, and because society does not teach men how to cope with their emotions, and then it just comes out in outburst. But like, people believe that if you take testosterone, like, you're immediately more aggressive, or like it's unnatural, you're mutilating your body, like, just all of these stupid things. Like, the specific thing that I studied in class was how trans people are seen as a joke, like, for 100 years, like, since media has been a thing, like, trans people and the identities of trans people have been portrayed as a joke, or like as the laughing stock of the show or media that it is in. And it, through that stereotype being reproduced, it only instills that idea. It only instills that idea because media representation is so important. Like, we're working on it, and like, yes, I get it's hard to create like a media representation that will, you know, like, contain everything, but like, to keep using these controlling images of trans people is just so annoying. Like, I just, honestly, it's just like, that's one thing just people don't get, is that media is so important in the influence and impact of people's lives and actions, you know what I mean? Because it's not only are you influencing, like, because it's, you're not just passively watching things. Like, yes, sometimes you can be, but people are active watchers. Like, you can't just not, like, a lot of people have opinions on everything, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of stupid to not take media seriously. And like, it's, you know, like, even with that, and like, even with the news, like Fox News, like, it's crazy how they demonize like queer identities and trans identities, and it's just insane to me. But I don't know, I personally knew I was trans because I just know, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, but it's mostly because as a child, I knew I was queer because I would watch gay, like, lesbian, like, at a really young age. And like, that's media representation. That's so funny. But like, and I would just, as a young person, like, always be like, man, if I were a boy, like, I'd be such a good boyfriend to this person, or like, if I were a boy, like, I'd be such a good boy, like, you know, like. And then I would constantly, in high school, like, this went all the way into high school, I would play like this, like fuckboy type character of myself, where I just flirt with all the people around me, and it's just, I don't know. And then like, coming into college, I knew like I wasn't just a woman. Like, I knew, like, I've always known I'm not just a woman. Like, I would always wish I was a boy, and I just like didn't think anything of it because I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know that trans people even existed. I barely knew gay people existed, you know? So coming into college was crazy because I was extremely sheltered. So I had non-binary friends, and I was like, damn, y'all are real for this. And that's how I knew I was non-binary. Like, I was like, I didn't know it was a thing until I had friends that were non-binary, and I was like, that's an option. Like, what, being trans or being non-binary or being like whatever is an option. Like, I can do that. So that's like, I don't know, I just feel like that's how I want to be. That's how I well, who do you think is next? Like, who, like, they want control, they want power, and by polarizing the whole, like, Trump has completely polarized the whole community. Like, you cannot talk to a Trump supporter because, like, they don't even deserve, like, or they don't even think you deserve human rights, which is insane and, like, absolutely crazy to me. Because I was looking, like, my partner was watching this debate. It was like 25 conservatives against a Harvard student, and they were all just so blissfully stupid, dumb, and ignorant. Like, it wasn't that, like, all the information they were pulling was wrong. Like, all the information they were pulling was just, like, random propaganda and, like, controlling images of trans people. Like, instead of, like, actual information-based and research-based things. But I don't know. Okay, I totally forgot about the personal attention, but I'm just gonna be whispering to you about transness. But genuinely, like, gender is a social construct, so I don't understand why it's such a big deal if someone wants to be a different gender or play with a different gender, or because, like, even the idea that, like of femininity and masculinity, it's like those are social constructs. Like, everything is a fucking social construct, you know? So it just pisses me off. But I love being trans, and, like, my journey has been beautiful, but because of the time that it's in, really scary. And I just hope that one day we're gonna be able to live with love and peace in our hearts for trans people. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just crazy because trans people are such a minority. It's just so hard to kind of revolutionize and, like, or do anything. And everyone's so distracted on their phones and, like, with TikTok and like, I get it. Like, I'm right there with you guys, but, like, I really want to take action. Like, it just, and I feel like any action, like, that I can do, like, won't be enough. But have hope. Hope is what we live by. But yeah, those are all my thoughts. I just want to get them out there. I want to be vulnerable with you guys, and I think, I don't know, I just think it's really important, and especially to, like, uplift and support, like, people that exist on the intersections of minority groups, especially too, because trans people, yeah, like, black trans women, uplift and support them, please. Like,